enabling those Serum Visions we spoke about. Sam able to find an amulet. Going to go ahead and put that in his hand. Passes the turn back to Dilks. Untaps his Teleria West. Also has an amulet. Plays a second Teleria West. Just passes the turn back. I see a Titan in hand for Sam. I see a Sakura Tribe Scout. We know that amulet's there. A lot of pieces.
If Sam has the bounce land, that's a Titan on turn 2, or turn 3 rather.
Correct. There you see the Amulet of Vigor. Dilks going to take a draw here. Shakes his head.
He would do that no matter what his hand
Actually
was.
unimpressed? Or just typical Dilks response? Let's see. Looks like we're doing some counting. And he knows this is not ideal because it seems like he's going to have to pass the turn back to his opponent. Going to take that bounce land back into hand. Play Azusa. The shake of his head. He's 1 mana short.
Yep.
Not going to be a Titan this turn.
Two land drops remaining. So 2 floating, now 3 floating. Coalition Relic.
Well, we're set up for the next turn, but is there going to be a next turn? Does Sam just have it right now, ready to go? Bounce land, all that's required to go ahead and unlock that Primeval Titan that we know Sam has in hand. Sam having to think here, and that leads me to believe we may not have a bounce land. Nope, there it is. Never mind. He's probably thinking down the road a little bit. What's he going to do with that bounce land? How's he going to inflict maximum pain?
I would probably try and make 6 mana this turn.
In general, that's what leads to maximum pain. Sam doing a little counting here. There is that bounce land. Going to untap. 3 mana floating. We're going to return Forest. We just have a second bounce land, don't we? There it is, a second bounce land. That's going to untap from the amulet. 6 mana, and it's prime time, baby.
I think Sam doing a little counting to see if Dilks could pay for a Pact of Negation there, maybe. Playing a little scared, perhaps. Or careful.
Careful. I would say careful. When you're in this position, you just don't want to mess it up. You want to get exactly as much as you can out of your Titan and leave your opponent with as little as possible. It's worth noting, though, it's going to be challenging for Sam to keep Matthew off a big turn. I would assume a Ghost Quarter probably going to be involved here because there's no kill available with only 1 amulet. There you see Boros Garrison, Slayer's Stronghold, of course, going to give that Titan haste. Looks like we're going to return Slayer's Stronghold to hand. Here comes Primeval Titan. Another trigger, 2 more lands ready to come to the battlefield. What are they going to be? Big choice to be made here for Sam Lawrence. See him moving a couple of Teleria West to the front.
Ghost Quarter actually residing in Sam's sideboard, which is kind of a popular choice this weekend.
Right. Okay, so that changes the options here. What's the best thing Sam can come up with? Dilks also with Ghost Quarter in the sideboard, interestingly enough.
So as Matthew Dilks, someone who has helped pioneer Amulet in this modern format, and you sit down to play the semifinals of a tournament, you're playing a pseudo mirror match. Does that make you feel good or bad?
Well, you have to think Matt believes this is the best deck in Modern, has played it religiously. He's proud of the work he's put in, but you never want to play against the best possible deck, right? You prefer an easy matchup.
I suppose that's true.
Coalition Relic going to go ahead and get a charge counter. Dilks takes the turn back. He's going to have the mana for a Titan this turn. What can he put together?
Worth noting that Sam had Primeval Titan the old-fashioned way, au natural.
Going to free up mana on the next turn.
Yeah, no Summoner's Pact necessary. And with Amulet, 8 mana available, Sakura Tribe Scout, Sam is almost certainly threatening lethal.
Have to assume so. Dilks excited as always. Optimistic about his chances.
Need to get Matt some okie dokie dice or something, you know, something colorful.
A little
Maybe,
splash of brightness into his
yeah,
day.
maybe bring a smile to his face.
How about some game podcast sleeves? That would look nice on that Amulet Titan deck. Beautiful bright colors. Here comes the bounce land. It's tracking land drops with that dice that is sitting on Azusa right now. Two mana floating. Can't quite make out Dilks' hand here.
So we had 10 mana available, right? 3 land drops between natural land drop, Azusa, the Coalition Relic, charge counter, Relic
Correct.
itself, 2 T-Wests.
Correct.
So can pick up a Teleria West with the last bounce land and use that to get a Primeval Titan, but he actually has a Titan in hand.
Must be nice. There's that bounce land again. Gonna go ahead and make 2 more mana. It's coming back to hand. One more blue enters the pool. Once more, ready to deploy the Growth Chamber. Gonna return Teleria West to hand.
So auto land drops for now.
And there is a transmuted Teleria West. What is the backup here? Summoner's Pact? Pact of Negation?
Well, Dilks can't deploy 2 Titans this turn. So I would be surprised if it was a Summoner's Pact, I guess. Maybe something like Pact of Negation would be stronger to help defend against Sam's next turn.
Also, if Sam just has Pact of Negation here, it's game over, essentially.
Yes.
Dilks may be a little scared of that from Sam. So we are going to get some Pact of Negation backup. Primeval Titan hitting the battlefield. That's going to go ahead and get 2 lands for Dilks. Which 2 lands is it going to be?
You know the
We're assuming Boros Garrison, Slayer Stronghold. Don't think either one is presently in Dilks' hand. There they are. How about a little haste for that Titan? 8/6, Vigilance, Haste. And Primeval Titan gets ready to rumble in. Dilks choosing what to return off the bounce trigger from the Boros Garrison. Looks like it's going to be the Simic Growth Chamber. And here comes Primeval Titan. It's time for some more searching.
I think regardless of what you think about Amulet Titan's place in Modern or how finicky this deck is with all the searching and like picking up lands and putting them back down, all this tracking and stuff, the deck is really cool.
Oh, yeah. One of those things that could only happen in Modern, a bizarre confluence of cards, quite frankly. Looks like we're going to search up a Simic Growth Chamber as well as Teleria West. That's going to return Teleria West to hand. Dilks will be able to transmute that during his main phase if he so chooses. He chooses. Gonna go search. Assume we get Summoner's Pact here, so we have a Titan ready for the next turn. And then we're just gonna shift the turn back to Sam. And we're gonna see what Sam can do with his engine online. Sam gonna go ahead and take a draw. Look, I don't know what Sam's Amulet experience is like. I don't know how long he's been playing the deck. But we know Dilks has been in this position in the mirror a million times. He understands it. Not many people with loads of experience in the Amulet mirror, but if you're part of the Cabal, you've thought about this.
They just know that eventually they're going to have to start playing mirror matches.
Oh, yeah. And I think it was just a few weeks ago we saw Daryl Ayers have to battle Edgar in the top 8. And there was a team kill. Maybe it was actually Daryl and Dilks. I don't know. They all win so much, I can't keep track of it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there was also Daryl against Mason Clark in Cincinnati.
Very true. Another amulet mirror becoming commonplace here on the SCG Tour. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and transmute to Tolaria West. And we're going to go get our own Pact of Negation.
Counter Wars in Amulet Mirrors.
Things get weird real quickly. Not Blister Coil weird, just regular weird.
What about Zer's Weirding?
Yeah, that adequately explains what's happening here. Veseva in hand for Sam. Does have that Sakura Tribe Scout, though. Mana floating right now, so Sam can go ahead and cast Summoner's Pact. Will have enough to just jam that Titan. And keep the Sakura Tribe Scout up. And there you see Primeval Titan. Dilks says sure, doesn't deploy that Pact of Negation. Obviously no Sam has his own at this point.
Still might be worth trading there, because then that locks up some of Sam's mana on the next turn, but...
Interesting decision point.
So now Sam probably has to get Vesuva to copy Slayer Stronghold.
He has Vesuva in hand presently, I believe.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just get red and white mana.
Correct.
And then you can Tribe Scout in the Vesuva.
Yep, Kabira Crossroads. Gonna gain a little life, make a white mana. There's that Vesuva. Copying Slayer Stronghold. Give second Titan haste. Time for 2 Titans to head into the red zone. And we're gonna get 4 more lands from our deck. Dilks says that seems pretty good.
Looks like lethal to me.
Gemstone Mine, Sunhome, both on tap. Growth Chamber, white one, Selesnya Sanctuary.
That's the one.
Took me a second. Both on tap. Turn a few of those other lands to hand, and we have an activation ready for our Sunhome.
Double strike the big one. And I don't think it really matters how Dilks blocks.
8 points of defense.
Against 22
22
power.
points of trample. Yeah, this one is over. Sam would have to make a mistake here. Time for some double striking. That's the big one. That's going to go ahead, trample over.
Trample for 6, trample for 8.
And Dilks is going to scoop him up. It's Sam Lawrence up a game in the Amulet Titan Mirror.
Up a game when he was on the draw, notably. But Dilks, it looked like, had mulligan twice that game. Still had a very reasonable draw, but was just a turn too late.
Titan does mulligan quite well, but a lot of this game just going to be decided by how powerful the individual hand is, what you're capable of. Dilks put together a good show, responded to a Titan with a Titan. Not quite enough, though. We'll take a look at the sideboards here. Over on Dilks' side, you see the 4 Path to Exile, 2 Negate, 2 Engineered Explosives, 1 Tireless Tracker, 1 Reclamation Sage, 1 Ramanep Excavator, 1 Pact of Negation, 1 Hornet Queen, 1 Ghost Quarter, and 1 Chameleon Colossus. Jerry, what would you like to do in the Amulet Titan Mirror?
You tell me. Okay, tell me after I give you the rundown.
Give me a shot,
How about that? 4 Path to Exile, 1 Ghost Quarter, 1 Tireless Tracker, maybe a Pact of Negation, maybe Negates, but I don't think I would mess with them. I don't think I would mess with the Hornet Queen either.
Only one I don't really like there is Tireless Tracker. I just don't think that's what the games are about. It's not really about accumulating resources. You just need to kill your opponent. You're looking to go out in a blaze of glory. Even when you're able to find some more defensive tools, things still generally go that way for the most part. So I haven't been impressed with Tireless Tracker in the mirror. I will say, though, there are people who feel differently than I do, and we'll see if Dilks is one of them. Meanwhile, we'll head over to Sam Lawrence's side. Basically the same stuff. I don't need to read this to you again. It's almost entirely the same options besides one Celestial Purge, which is not going to matter here.
And an Obstinate Baloth that is in the place of the Excavator, your favorite card.
Okay, that does matter, because that takes away the possibility of Ghost Quarter locking.
Yeah.
That's tough to set up, but it is another target you can potentially pact for that in some instances is actually better than getting a Titan. I know that sounds ridiculous. It has happened to me before, though, where the Ramanap Excavator lock is just the best thing you can do. So it'll be interesting to see if Dilks can set that one up.
No messing with Hornet Queen, though, right?
No, I don't believe that's necessary. It's not what the game's about. The game's going to end very quickly once someone establishes Titan dominance. So we mentioned how this deck just the strangest confluence of new and strange cards, and it just keeps getting better and better. Wonder if War of the Spark is going to bring anything to the old Amulet Titan deck. I haven't seen anything really thus far. Maybe you could do something weird with Kiora. It's another way to untap some lands. But regardless, you're going to have to get your hands on some more of the Spark. And there's going to be pre-releases. We have, of course, exclusive playmats available at our participating stores. And this is all going down April 27th through 28th. You need to register today. Head on over to go.starcitygames.com/pre-release.
I'm going over the mythic spoiler for War of the Spark.
What do you like for me?
To see if I can find anything that is amulet.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's any slam dunks here, but that's the weird thing about Amulet. Sometimes you just find this bizarro tool that you need in weird situations. We saw Consulate Crackdown make its way into sideboards for a while.
That's a recent card.
We were seeing a lot of Primal Commands, all these cards which have just been absent forever, and Amulet Titan says, yeah, that's what I need this week, and just picks it up.
Not seeing a whole lot. There are some green creatures. There are some non-basic lands, but nothing really that's worth tutoring for. No emergent zone nonsense.
No, that's not going to be necessary.
Why not just play Cavern of Souls, you know?
We will. That's what the Amulet Titan players will continue doing. Only optimal choices here in Amulet Land.
Only optimal choices.
Sam Lawrence now up a game. Back on the draw. Dilks has to be happy to reclaim play here. Looks like he's looking at his opening 7. Surprise, he looks unhappy with it. That doesn't mean anything. Could be great.
Dilks is going, man, only a turn 3 Titan?
Right. Unimpressive.
With haste? That's not good enough.
Two mulligans here from Sam Lawrence. He's going to be on 5 this time.
On 5 and on the draw.
Yeah. Dilks, meanwhile, did keep the full 7. Tough position for Sam. Going to go ahead and take a scry here.
Just one of those things where you look at your opening 7, you look at your opening 6, and if you had a draw that was capable of making a turn 4 Titan and maybe not having any potential redraws to like a turn 3 Titan, it might not be good enough when you're on the draw.
4 p.m.
Nice start here from Dilks. Going to lead with Sakura Tribe Scout. Meanwhile, it's Ancient Stirrings for Sam Lawrence. Going to go ahead and take a look at those top 5 cards. All the Sakura Tribe Scouts, as well as a bounce land. Probably what Sam was looking for there. Already had one in hand. Turn passes back to Dilks.
Dilks making faces. Nothing new here.
Dilks and faces. Name a more iconic combo. Here is another Sakura Tribe Scout.
Setting up for potentially a very big turn next turn.
Yep, exactly where he wants to be. Meanwhile, I think Sam's just going to deploy a bounce land here. Pick up the land. Shields are down.
Thanks to those mulligans, doesn't have to discard.
Here's a Cavern of Souls. Always looking at the bright side, Jerry. Cavern of Souls, of course, naming Giant. Here's an Ancient Stirrings. We can take a look at the top 5. Found a bounce land.
That's good. That's 6 mana.
That's Titan if we want it. Do we have the payoff? Play bounce land, untap. Make some mana. Hit me one more time. Bounce land, untap. Make some mana.
You got to tap one of those scouts.
That is how it works. We'll make sure that gets taken care of.
Standings are now being posted. We're going to give you some time.
Gonna return Sun home. Dilks, I think, shortcutting a lot here. Those scouts should certainly be tapped.
No, they're enchantments. They're just explorations.
Just magical Skur Tribe Scouts. Super powerful.
Those standings will be made final in 3 minutes, after which you are entitled to prizes.
Gonna get some mana counters out there on the battlefield so we know exactly where we are. There's that Cavern of Souls. As we said, naming giant. Time for Summoner's Pact. What do you think that's going to get? Oh, Primeval Titan.
Not Tireless Tracker?
Believe it
But
or
why?
not. Believe it or not, Primeval Titan slightly better here.
Not Zakama?
No Zakamas. Library is unlocked. It's time for Boros Garrison, Slayer Stronghold. How about a little haste? And Prime Time rushes in to the red zone. It's going to bring a couple of land friends with it. It's a Ghost Quarter, now in the deck. Just get Vesuva, second Ghost Quarter.
Can't. You can't put them onto the battlefield at the same time.
Correct, of course. Thank you, Jerry. Nope, we're just going to go ahead and get Simic Growth Chamber here.
Pick up the other Selesnya Sanctuary now in main phase 2. Dilks will have 3 mana available to him. We'll be able to activate the Sakura Tribe Scout, play out Selesnya Sanctuary, maybe pick out the Teleria West and transmute it if he wants to.
A lot of options here. Going to activate that Tribe Scout.
Dilks also has to figure out what he's capable of doing next turn because he does have a Summoner's Pact that he has to pay for, although it's pretty unlikely that Sam is able to do anything of note. Sam agrees.
Yeah, he says there's nothing I can do against this, and Sam just going to go ahead and pick him up. That's how the Amulet Titan Mirror can go sometime. Honestly, that's kind of how both matches went. There's just a little bit more give and take as the Titans were on the battlefield.
Turn 3, Titan U.
Yeah, first one's usually good enough. It'll usually hold, and thus far it has. So now the players are one more time going to race to try and put that Titan onto the battlefield. There you see the sideboards again. I don't expect much to change here.
It seems like Tireless Tracker would have not really done much that game.
No, it often does not. Games are just too quick. I mean, there do exist some longer games, but I just think they're a rarity, and you're better on just streamlining your deck for the games you're more apt to play.
Yeah, again, I think it probably comes down to what are the cards that would be left in your deck.
Right.
And
right.
even if you compare it to things like Negate or the second copy of Pact and Negation, I'm not sure Tireless Tracker even holds up to those cards.
I'm with you.
And it's very unlikely that all of those things are coming in because then your deck is probably not very cohesive.
Right. Sam, super excited to be back on the play in this deciding Game 3. I hate to see Amulet on Amulet violence. It makes me so sad.
But it means that these two players both did well with the deck, and at least one of them is going on to the finals.
Very true. Very true. We do not yet know who their finals opponent will be. It'll either be a showdown with, is it Phoenix, something all these players have had to face all day, or the new kid on the block, Esper Control, in the hands of Zach Allen.
unfortunately knocking out the other kind of cool deck in the top 8 in the Death Shadow Zoo deck.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if either of those decks takes more metagame share going forward. I think we have a keep from Sam on 7. Nope, never mind. It's going back on top of the library. Dilks says, I agree. Let's play fair. Both players going down to 6 here. This is why you always choose to draw in the Amulet Mirror, because then mitigates mulligans. You know, you have to have a card quantity. You play a slower game. Other such nonsense that people say to convince themselves to take the draw.
So if you expect Amulet to continue to pick up in popularity and you yourself want to play Amulet, where do you go for the Mirror? Is it just ensure that you have the Ghost Quarter in the main deck?
I think so. I don't think you need to do anything dramatic. It's just make sure you have access to that card. And if there's like more macro tweaks you want to make, it's Sam Lawrence's deck. It's being more combo focused, because that's what these games really come down to. Sam, on average, should have more early game Titans. I just don't know how much greater that average is, and if it makes up for the lack of some flex slots that he's now lost in other matchups. I think people are still figuring out this one. Looks like both players happy with 6. As happy as Dilks can be about anything anyway. Gonna bottom that top card. And Sam's gonna go ahead and start us off here.
I see some good ones in Sam's hand. I mean, he has turn 1 Green Source into Sacred Tribe Scout. He has an Amulet of Vigor. Also has a Primeval Titan. It's basically just whether or not he can find a bounce land.
Yeah, Dilks not to be outdone. Oh, he has 2 Amulets of Vigor. And only 1 land. Oh boy, this could get interesting.
Wonder if you could attack there.
I don't care. I just don't think it matters in the least. Here's an Ancient Stirrings.
Second Tribe Scout does let him get to 6 off of just a single bounce land.
Yes.
So probably not worth it, but I don't think Dilks is blocking. And you're not blocking. Your creature's not going to attack or block or use its activated ability. I guess that means it's got to get in there.
I guess. Technically, you are correct. And if this game comes down to that 1 life, all kudos to you.
Sam just sitting on 2 pair. 2 pair. 2 Primeval Titan, 2 Amulets.
Could be good. Need some help, though. Dilks just going to go ahead, play Tolaria West, passes the turn over to Sam. Sam untaps, takes a draw, rubs the lucky top of the deck. It's Gemstone Mine, not the bounce land we were looking for. Can go ahead, deploy both those amulets, and just win the game on the spot if he's able to find the bounce land on the next turn.
Yeah, that Gemstone Mine, while good, only makes about a 1/6 of the mana of the land that he wanted to find.
Right. Pretty wild. There's the Gemstone Mine. Here is the second copy of Amulet. What does Dilks have? Is he able to do something on this turn? Here's a bounce land. It's going to return that Tolaria West. Takes the turn back. Draw from Dilks.
This looks like just a turn 4 Titan for Dilks, probably.
If he can fade bounce land, it may be good enough. But Sam Lawrence with the very, very live top of the deck here. Of course, has redraws in the form of Serum Visions and Ancient Stirrings.
And how many bounce lands does he have? Boros Garrison actually counts.
So he's down 1 from typical builds.
Yeah, so he's got 8 total, 4 Stirrings, 3 Serum Visions. So 15 outs over what has been multiple turns so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Dilks just going to transmute Tolaria West, get that Summoner's Pact, get ready for the turn 4 Titan, doing the necessary legwork, and he knows he's got to just fade the top of the deck here. Passes the turn back. What does Lawrence draw? It's a bounce land.
That's the Boros Garrison.
Oh boy. That may complicate things a little bit. Let's see what Sam can do here.
Ooh, I actually wonder if, I guess Dilks needs Summoner's Pact to find a Primeval Titan no matter what, but could have potentially played it safe and just gotten a Ghost Quarter.
He could have, but man, you need to get on the battlefield at some point. Here is an incredible amount of mana. Both of those Sakura Tribe Scouts ready to go. This might just do it, Jerry. Here comes Primeval Titan. A lot depends on what's left in Sam's hand right now. However, with access to those 2 Tribe Scouts, I think you can probably get the job done here.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he has 2 Tribe Scout
They can
land
attack,
drops
and that-
remaining.
He can attack with one of the Tribe Scouts too, which also matters in terms of Dilks having a blocker available.
Oh, okay, you get that extra point in.
Right. There's all the mana on the planet. Lawrence says, I'll make 6 billion.
You made top 8 of the Lower Classic Leagues reports a blue gallery point currently spinning in the center of the room.
Six mana floating. You know what else Sam has in hand?
Just another Titan.
Another Primeval Titan. Gonna go ahead and return that bounce land to hand. Activate Sakura Tribe Scout. Replay the bounce land. 4 more mana.
Then you can pick up Teleria West and transmute for Pact of Negation even?
You have backup here, yeah. There is the Pact of Negation. That's going to go into Sam's hand. Can play through any packs on Dilks' part now.
Or Path to Exile, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to go ahead and burn the rest of that mana. Still 1 blue floating. How about another Primeval Titan? Still with the Tribe Scout activation, ready to go. Can give that one haste, too. Dilks is just saying, show me you know how to solve the puzzle.
Well, Boros Garrison in hand maybe complicates things a little bit where you can't exactly KO your opponent, but Dilks, without any amulets, isn't going to actually be able to kill Sam. Sam also has Pact of Negation backup.
I think there's a kill here. And I'm not going to try and piece it together for you live. That's often one of the trickier parts of this Amulet Titan deck. But I'm pretty confident you can find a kill if you're Sam. There is a Slayer's Stronghold. There's a Ghost Quarter. We're going to activate that Tribe Scout. Make a bunch of mana with our Boros Garrison. These lands on tap. Both Primeval Titans now have haste. Ghost Quarter at the ready. Return Gemstone Mine to hand.
Oh, yeah, this is...
If there's a
24.
Vesuva, yeah, if there's a Vesuva, it's just over.
Well, Dilks is going to go for the path.
There is Path to Exile. We know Sam with Pact of Negation in hand. Is he going to talk himself out of pacting here? Does Dilks have a pact of his own? All valid questions. He's going to pact back. That counters Path to Exile. And now both Titans head into the red zone. And we're going to go with Searchin'. See the Sun Home pulled forward. There's a bounce land. There's Vesuva. And Sam Lawrence, if he just crosses his T's, dots his I's, he has done it and taken down Matthew Dilks, who has been dominant all weekend in the Amulet Mirror.
Oof.
Sam Lawrence, though, no less dominant, quite frankly. Just didn't make camera as much.
All right, 8 mana here.
Bounce land's going to return a couple of irrelevant ones to hand. Going to play Sun Home. Untap that 2 times. Activate it twice. Both of my Primeval Titans have double strike and 8 power. You're only at 20, Matthew. What do you have for me?
It's almost 40.
Yeah, big amount of damage rolling through here. Matthew says, okay, extends the hand, and Sam Lawrence takes down Matthew Dilks in the Amulet Titan Mirror. 2 games to 1. Going to advance to our finals.